got all these little rough things on here, okay? This we're going to discuss next week when we talk about digestion in lab, okay? These are the papillae. Some of these have taste buds on them, some of them do not. And we're going to go over that a little bit more, so we're going to save this plug next week because we're going to need it for the digestive system as well. This is the epiglottis. This is the part that was over the soft palate originally, all right? And you can see it's kind of leaf-shaped, right? Looks like a little leaf. And these two little bumps right here are your retinoids, okay? There's the bumps right here and here, okay? They kind of hook-shaped. They look like little cow horns, all right? These are your retinoid cartilages. And within there, you can see, way down deep, the vocal folds. You see them? Your little white things, little white lines. Okay, so if you go between those when you're doing your intubation, all right, when you put a tube down, you're looking for the goalposts, and the goalposts are your retinoids and their vocal folds. You see that? Okay, you see them? They're really tiny, but they're bright white, and if they're in good light, you can see them very well. So you always want to have a light with you when you're trying to do an intubation. Yeah, you can.
The camera's really blurry, but...
Yeah, you can see it with your eyes.
Okay.
You gotta focus deep, okay? You've gotta focus. Autofocus ain't gonna cut it, all right? You gotta focus it manually.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not experienced. What's that? Oh.
Yeah.
Jamaica, you could go in and out.
I can?
Mhm.
With what?
The telephoto?
The thing up here.
Okay, you're supposed to, you gotta focus deep, because you gotta look for the little white goalpost thing.
It won't go no further.
And it's getting blurry.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you don't have a focusing.
Let me see.
You don't have a minute.
But that's what you're looking for,
Oh,
okay?
here we go. We have another focus.
Okay, does it have
Try
focus,
again.
or?
Well, mine might be on a different setting than hers, but we got the same cameras.
All right. Yeah, because there's like a mode.
No, you're
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You can see it, and there's a picture.
Okay.
All
So
right.
anyway, so that's it. Now, the thing that sits over here, this thing that I've had to cut through, is your esophagus. And this is the back of the esophagus right here. Okay? So it sits in the mouth so that the esophagus is going to be on the dorsal side and the larynx is going to be on the ventral side. Okay? Now, if we flip this over, we're going to see we got more cartilage right here. This plate of cartilage right here is our thyroid cartilage. Remember, that protects the retinoids, right? Okay, remember that from studying. And then we've got this little plate that has muscle on it, and that's our cricoid. And if you put your finger right here, you can feel the cricothyroid ligament. Okay? You can feel it right there. And that's where we go when we're performing a cricoid tube placement. Okay?
That's when they cut?
Yeah, when they say, I need the cric kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're cutting. Right there is the cricothyroid ligament, right? All right, now here is the trachea, and you can see it's got all these rings, right? And they're really rough, and they're actually fairly hard, okay? So they don't really compress a whole lot. And then on the back of them, we can see that they're C-shaped because we've got this indentation here. Who remembers the name of that muscle that runs through the indentation between the two different sides of the C-shaped cartilages on the trachea? Trachealis dorsalis. Very good, okay? So it's a trachealis muscle, and that goes all the way down to here, okay? And that is the tracheal bifurcation, because it splits into two parts, right? All right, so we have one major bronchus on either side that goes into the lungs, okay? And then we can see how the lungs fit in the chest, okay? If you're a dog, this is the way they're going to sit, right? So we've got our cranial lobe, we've got our middle lobe on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we have our cranial, our middle, and our caudal lobe, and then we have our accessory. Okay, and where does the accessory wrap around? Behind what? The esophagus. Right, it does lay on top of the diaphragm, but it wraps around the esophagus inside the chest. Okay? The esophagus and actually the caudal vena cava. Okay? and this is the diaphragm, and you can see the extent of the diaphragm too. You see how far deep it goes? It goes all the way back here. The point of attachment of the diaphragm is called the crus, okay? Because it means knee. Because it's knee-shaped. It's like a really sharp angle.
Lower leg.
Yeah, it's the same name. Okay, so the crus of the diaphragm is where it attaches to the body wall. Yeah, it is. Okay, and then this is the dome of the diaphragm. Okay, this is the major portion of the diaphragm, and that separates the lungs from the liver. Okay, now if we get a diaphragmatic hernia, usually they're going to happen right in this area right here, and so that's going to go right up into the mediastinum. Okay, and so that's not compatible with very good breathing, is it? No. Okay.
Hurt too.
Yeah, it probably hurts a bit. Okay? So, these are the jugular veins coming up to the neck. You can see them very nicely. Okay, on either side. This is the aorta. The aorta is always, the arteries are always going to be deeper than the veins. Okay, so they're going to be farther inside. So this is like really close to the spine. You can feel how close this is to the spine, and you can see how thick-walled it is. All right? So it's a fairly major blood vessel. This is the vena cava. You can see how thin-walled it is, and it's a larger vessel because it's a vein. All right, and it comes right up from the liver. Okay,
That huge thing right here?
that huge thing right there.
Dang.
Yeah, dang is right. So this right here is one of the branches off the aorta. This is the brachiocephalic artery branch. Okay, and that's going to eventually branch off into your carotid, okay, inside your head. And here's your thymus. Nice big thymus, okay?
Where
Now,
does the vena cava break off? This is a caudal and a cranial.
right off the heart. I'm going to show you that right now. Here we go. This one right here is going to be the caudal vena cava. This one's going to be the cranial vena cava.
Bigger, the caudal, okay.
Okay, because it's got more body area, right? Okay? And then this is the aorta right here. Okay, and these are the branches of the aorta. Okay, and on him you can see his coronary vessels, really nice. All right, they run all the way around, and let's see, it's so abnormal because it's full of plastic, so I can't really show you anything good on this. Okay, which ventricle is this? Left. Why do we know it's the left ventricle?
Because it has the apex.
It's got the apex, number one. What else?
I just knew because it looked big.
Vena cava.
Because it looked big? What's look big?
The whole thing. I'd seen the other one. Wait, the right one's bigger than the
What looks big?
The walls.
The walls. The walls are thicker. The walls are thicker on the left-hand side, right? And also, the left ventricle is going to be a little bit longer, and the right ventricle is going to be flat, and it's going to wrap around the left ventricle. Okay, it's going to be C-shaped. It's going to be crescent shaped, right? Okay, so that's how we can tell the difference. Now, if this is the left ventricle, then what is this valve right here?
Mitral valve.
It is the mitral valve. How can we know it's the mitral valve and not the aortic valve?
The chordae tendineae.
Chordae tendineae and papillary muscles. These are the papillary muscles right here. These are the chordae tendineae right here. Okay? And what do the chordae tendineae do?
Keep the prolapsing.
Right, very good. Okay, now I've got another valve that's right inside there. Can you see it? All the way up inside? That's your aortic valve. I can stick my finger right up in there. Okay? So the mitral valve is right here, the aortic valve is right behind it. You see it? Okay. Don't break your chordae tendineae. Okay, can you see it?
There's a tape for that.
Is that a good angle? I'm not sure if I've got it too tilted. Okay.
That's the chordae tendineae.
Can you see it? There's two valves. There's one on here and there's one deep. And the deep one does not have chordae tendineae, right? So that's how we can tell the difference between the aortic valve and the mitral valve. Okay, same thing with the tricuspid valve and the pulmonic valve. The pulmonic valve will not have chordae tendineae, right?
Okay.
Only the mitral valve and the tricuspid do because they're the ones that have to prevent prolapse back into the atria. All right? If we get a little bit of backflow into the ventricles, it's not as big a deal because those are high pressure situations anyway. The atria are not high pressure. Does that make sense? Okay. Then we have, now that's the aorta. Yeah. That's the aorta. That's the atrium right there. That's like really up high. Okay. This isn't showing me a whole lot except for those two things, but this is excellent for those two things.
Do you want the other path?
Yeah.